Hi, I'm Joanne Murdock, and I'm snooping around in Lee Murdock's music room. This is a little tiny bedroom in our old house, which he has turned into his music room and library. So I'll give you a little peek here. There's a lot of books and a lot of music in this little room. And there's a computer, and there's more books, and an amplifier and equipment, and more books about the Great Lakes. Look at that. These are the Lake Huron, the WPA series, and some things by Boyer. And I'm not going to show you what's in that closet because it is really packed full of stuff. He built this case here and has more books. And this flag from the lighthouse service.
Ah, caught you.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm just looking around your room here.
Yeah, it's in pretty good shape. You know,
It is.
There's a lot of books in here.
This is
a lot of
densely packed and very
lovely,
neat.
wonderful memories too, as a matter of fact, and a little bit of dust. Yeah, you know, it's a well. It's where I do the creative work, really. It's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of it is history based. I've got a lot of history books here. Not only is Great Lakes history, but all different types of history. And then over in this area here, I have a lot of my music books. And let me just see. There was the one that I really like, as I've been focusing on, is the not Songs of Abelard. It was here it is. Treasury of Stephen Foster. This is my mom's book, and it came out in like 42, and it's really very, very cool. And then of course folk songs of North America, Carl Sandburg's American Songbank Classic. Here's a real nice book. This was a fairly rare E.C. Beck, Songs of the Michigan Lumberjacks, and it's a really nice book. Death and the Shanty Boy. Lumberjack songs.
Sounds like a song you ought to learn.
Yeah, right. Well,
No, maybe you can find a better song.
Maybe a little bit later, you know. So. And of course, my favorite book, Windjammers, Songs of the Great Lakes Sailors, a hardcover copy, and there's not too many of these. And one of the songs that I recorded a number of years ago was on Gravelly Bay, and we just had a lyric, and. It talks about this fellow from Cleveland and working on the canal that goes around Niagara Falls between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. And, you know, I could talk about it, but I could just sing it too. Why don't I do that?
There you go. That would be better.
Let me just get my guitar strap. And this is where I practice. I like to try and practice kind of the way I would be doing it on stage a little bit, but I just like to sing standing up. It's easier, and we'll see how good my voice is in that.
You were going to stand over in this corner.
You're right, I was.
We blocked this out. Not that we planned anything. God forbid we didn't plan anything, but
Yeah, this is good here. So this is on Gravelly Bay, and I wrote the music for it, but I can't really take much credit because I lift melodies from everybody. So I was a handsome, nice young man, and I hailed from Cleveland town, and for my daily occupation I teamed for Johnny Brown, and all day long I'd sport and play. My joy I never did begrudge, till I was sent to Gravelly Bay to work upon the drudge. I had not been to Gravelly Bay but scarcely one day, 2 or 3, before a very fair young girl fell into love with me. She said, Mike, my man, give me your hand, and from you I will never budge. With you I'll stay on Gravelly Bay. work upon the drudge. So that gives you an idea of what I do when I'm practicing in this space, which is it's cozy, but it's enough room for me. So that's kind of a little window into Lee's practice space.
Yeah, now I've been around this room. I'm the only one probably who's been privileged to be around this room when you're writing a new song and learning a new song.
Yeah, what I used to do if I was learning a new song, and I've talked about this story, I might as well go here. I've talked about this story a number of times where I had to learn this song by James Keelahan in the span of just like 3 days. And I actually got it done, and I performed it on stage at the Johnny Appleseed Festival. This is many, many years ago.
Yeah.
And what I had to do was I had to memorize all the lyrics, like I'd been singing it for 10 years. And I wrote everything out, put it on a sheet of paper, and I would stick it up here with tape. And this is before the guitars were here.
Look at all the tape there.
Yeah, there you go.
Wine bottle
Just no, not the wine bottle. You just put it up like that. See, and then I would be able to stand and work out the arrangements. See, and
Yep.
so that's
And that's when I would come in and hear Lee working.
and
on
now the tape
song.
doesn't work too well because it hasn't
been
been used
used.
for a long time.
But you know what? This is a well-used room. See all this tape over here?
Yeah, there's
He's
some
got tape on all corners.
Tape
of
over
the
there
room.
too. That's when I was practicing 3 different songs at the same time.
Oh, you never did that.
Yes, well, I mean,
3 different songs that you didn't know?
yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, actually. Dawn's Early Light, great book about the War of 1812. Another one, 1812, the war that forged a nation. Okay, these were books that I used while I was composing some of the stuff for Here We'll Stand. Okay,
Yeah.
and I wrote like 6 songs in the span of 3 weeks, which is unheard of.
For
and
you,
they were well, not for anybody, and they were, I have to say, they were pretty good songs. But I had to practice them because I had to perform them in, again, 4 weeks. And so, yes, I had 1 song here, 1 song there, and I had a song here. And I could do 3 at the same time. Mm-hmm. And it would only be for about a couple days. And then it was in the memory banks by then. So.
Mm-hmm. Look, I can see myself in that.
Yeah,
picture.
this picture was from my Uncle Lee, my namesake uncle. He liked it when he passed.
There's you and your Uncle
my
Lee.
namesake uncle, right there. There's me.
Yeah. Look at that hair. Look at that hair. You really did have hair like that.
I did have hair like that. And that's my Uncle Lee,
Yeah.
And then this is Rich
Gibson.
Reddick, and
Ruth
me
Gibson.
and Ruth
Gibson.
Yeah. And who's that over there? Who's that over there?
She's really beautiful.
Yeah,
Whoever
she
that
is. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a picture. Also, they might find this interesting. This is Iceland,
Looks like
1974. Godafoss. That's Foss is waterfall. Godafoss is great waterfall in Iceland. Rick Levinson, and this is me, Doc O'Brien. Beth Ryan is right here, and Diane Foss, Mary, all different types of people that I still have touched base with a little bit. So this is kind of what.
This is your
My
lair.
refuge. My
this
refuge.
is your lair.
Yeah, my refuge.
So why don't you sing us a song? Tell us a little bit about a song that you wrote in this room.
Okay. Get rid of that. This one. Let me get this guitar here.
Now, what guitar is this now?
This is a Martin D60.
60. I never heard of a 60.
Yeah, D60. It's
It's
basically
fancier than a D28 or a D45.
it's about like a D18, which is very very plain. Has different inlay in it than a D18. But instead of mahogany back and sides, it is bird's eye maple.
Ooh, isn't that pretty? Look at that.
And
yeah.
And the face plate is bird's eye maple. So
What's the face plate? That's pretty. So is this a brand new guitar?
well, it was made in 1993, so I got it not too long ago. This is a song I wrote called Between Two Worlds, and talks about these passenger vessels that traveled in opulence in the early part of the 20th century, that during the Second World War were then converted into aircraft carriers on Lake Michigan. The C&B became the USS Wolverine, and the Greater Buffalo became the Sable. And this song not only talked about the change in those vessels, but also the young men that learned how to do their maneuvers, landings, and taking off away from the enemy here in the interior of the country, between two worlds. Riding on the wind in this lofty wing on high, the fields far below me are slowly drifting by. Off in the distance the blue horizon lies. Destiny is calling me off into the skies. The Wolverine and Sable now are steaming far offshore. Young pilots are coming fast to touch and go once more. Gone is the glamour for those ladies on these lakes. The country came calling, the risk it was high stakes. They were caught between two worlds. They were caught between two worlds. Not long ago I was laughing in the love of those at home. Next thing I know I'm out here, these endless skies to roam. I don't know what the future beyond these moments lie. I'm living in a daydream and time is standing by. A side wheel wonder was the C&B before. On my first trip aboard her, when we left Chicago shore, bound for Mackinac Island and the Sioux. Quite a change from yesterday. The deck is now in view. We are caught between two worlds. We are caught between two worlds. Now time to ease the throttle back and go. Wolverine is rolling hard, let's bring her down real slow, like the seabird that is gliding on away. Listen for the squealing wheels, make it a smooth shade, then rev the engine straight and true. raise her nose into the blue, then bear away a memory engraved. Rising on the wind in this lofty wing on high, Wolverine and Sable now far below me lie. Destiny is calling me off into the skies. Between the past and the future is where this seabird flies. We are caught between two worlds. They were caught between two worlds. Between two worlds. Between two worlds. Between two worlds.
Oh, that was great. You know,
Not bad for a Saturday night.
that's one of the things that you do so well is with your music, you can really emulate the swell of the waves, and in this case, just the feel of that plane
Yeah.
landing and stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and the joy in the pilots.
Well, yeah, the fact that you're up above everything, that's what I liked
Yeah.
about it, when it came out, when I was sitting there writing it, right there, it was just kind of like it happened.
Yeah,
So,
it was just a
usually I find a melody and work to it, and I think that happened in this specific instance. There was a melody, and then I was thinking about these vessels that had transformed, and then shortly after the Second World War, they were all just destroyed, just broken up for salvage. So now I can do another song if you'd like me to.
I would. I would.
Get this on straight. This is my high-strung guitar that John Larrivee built for me back in 1989. Beautiful.
Why do you have it
beautiful.
in this big case like this?
Because
Is it
it's
a
such a
shrine?
showstopper. I mean, look at all this, as Paul Tobias calls it, bling.
Bling.
Look at all this
Let me see.
beautiful.
Is that bling? That's just pretty wood. And look at those sparkles.
That's right.
I could turn around and show
Abalone.
it sparkling off the ceiling, but if you're at a concert, in the concert hall with lights, you can see those
Well, sometimes you have to.
reflections bouncing around too.
Sometimes you'd have to wear your sunglasses at my shows. With some of
There's
the
some bling.
fancy guitars.
There's some bling. Going
Let's
up the
see.
keyboard of that.
Yeah, that's a tree of life.
That's a tree of life on the fretboard. Now what is this?
It's called a cutaway, Florentine cutaway.
And did you have this guitar made specifically?
Yes.
Then it's made to order. So you wanted a cutaway. Why did you want a cutaway?
So I could access up here easily, even though I don't go up here very often. And that's when I was doing a lot of the harp transcriptions and things like that. Sometimes I'd be way up here and
That's where you get the high notes. Wade.
real high notes. Now, what
I
I've
would
done,
call that down, but it's
lately
up for
I've used
high
this on
notes.
stage as a third guitar, so I can do it in an open tuning, and it is tuned 2 notes up from concert pitch, so it's a little bit higher, and
Ooh, now we're tuning the 12 string.
no.
Oh, this is a great song.
Already had in an old canvas bag and a duffel slung over his shoulder. Heading up Sheldon Street, the rain turns to sleet, and each step seems a 1 degree colder. The neon sign blinks in reds, blues, and pinks. The downtown motel. He takes room 17. It's small but it's clean, and a room he will come to know well. He comes up this way from market, they say, when the old boats lay up in December. He's been landlocked here 3 months every year. Long winters then he cares to remember. Since 72 he's been with the crew on the freighter, the Arthur B. Homer. He's never claimed stakes, prefers the Great Lakes, living the life of a loner. So he sits in his room till late afternoon at the downtown motel. Then he wanders down the back streets of town to the places where mariners dwell. Along the portage, the dark morning bars, known to only travel that way, where the leathery fellows from the big boats hold session and squander their paychecks away. He comes up this way from market, they say, when the old boats lay up in December. He's been landlocked here 3 months every year. He's been to remember. Since 72, he's been with the crew on the freighter, the Arthur B. Homer. He's never claimed stakes, prefers the Great Lakes, and living the life of a loner. Through the din and the drone in the maritime tone, he talks of the seasons gone by. On steamers he's crewed, of women he's wooed, and Fitzgerald the pride of the line. Now he's paying the price, but he doesn't think twice, as each day rolls into another. He just waits for the news that they've opened the Soo, then he's downbound again on the Homer. He comes up this way from market, they say, when the ore boats lay up in December. He's been landlocked here 3 months every year. More winters than he cares to remember. Since 72, he's been with the crew on the freighter, the Arthur B. Homer. He's never claimed stakes, prefers the Great Lakes, and living the life of a loner. He's never claimed stakes, prefers the Great Lakes, and living the life of a loner. Now that was a song that I wrote the music to, but the lyrics were by Kevin O'Donnell, one of the founding members of Aaron Moore. So a beautiful lyric that he wrote, and he couldn't kind of come up with any melody, and I just threw something together and he liked it. So
Well, that was a great melody. That's a great song. So was that on Cold Winds?
that was actually on Safe in the
Safe in
Harbor.
the Harbor?
It's the first song on Safe in the Harbor. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a great song. It's a
Well,
great
thanks
song.
for coming into my room.
Do you think
I really
anybody
enjoyed it.
listened all the way to the end here?
I have no
We should
idea.
we should do this more often.
Okay,
You know, maybe.
all right. maybe somewhere else.
Yeah, well, maybe somebody will send us a note and ask us a question or give us a request, and we'll show you around different rooms of the house. But I think we got to come back here. This is the music room. It's definitely a
is.
creative space for you.
Great.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here, and you out there too.